1868 welcomes in San Antonio. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside our broadcast booth alongside Sean Steimel. I'm Alex Margulies. Sean, both of these teams have been hot in the Western Conference. Reno unbeaten over their last 7. Same for San Antonio over their last 5. And as we take a look at our key players to watch in this one, when you look at San Antonio, they are a big defensive club, and they're led by their goalkeeper, Diego Restrepo.
Restrepo has been fantastic. 30 saves, 3 clean sheets. Goalkeeper of the year last year in USL play, and they rode him in that perfect defense to a top 4 finish. Though they haven't gotten off to that start this year, they're picking it up.
Yeah, this is a team that's allowed only 10 goals in their 10 matches this season. But on the other side of the pitch, for Reno 1868, coming on strong has been Jerry Van Avik, the midfielder, a guy that Reno felt like could be an MVP-level type of player when they signed him in the offseason, and he's finally starting to catch on in Ian Russell's system.
Yeah, though he didn't have the start he probably wanted or that Reno wanted, he's gotten back to that level. He's getting comfortable with the club, comfortable with the system. He'll get on track, and he's getting there very quickly for this Reno side.
Van Avik had a hat trick in a U.S. Open Cup match against Portland. He also had his first USL goal in their last match against Seattle. We'll have more coming up, our starting lineups and kickoff here from Greater Nevada Fields. Stay tuned. It's Reno 1868 and San Antonio FC next. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 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 check. Check 1 2 3 4 5. Cool, man. Let's have some fun.
Let's do it. I say 2-2 draw.
Ooh, okay.
Lots of goals.
I'd be happy with that, considering I've done 3 games so far this year, and
That's why I'm saying it. We're gonna get goals tonight.
All right, the Battleborn Brigade is ready here tonight in downtown Reno. Glad you could join us for some United Soccer League action as Reno 1868 and San Antonio face off for the first time this season. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. We'll begin with San Antonio. They come in with a record of 3 wins, 2 losses, and 5 draws. A 4-2-3-1. Alex Bruce at the top. And here's San Antonio's line. I mentioned Diego Restrepo, the outstanding goalkeeper. And, Sean, overall, this team is just excellent defensively.
Yeah, they stay compact, and they stay with their shape. They know exactly what they're good at, and that's defending.
Take a look at Reno 1868 for Ian Russell's squad. He's going with a different lineup. He usually runs that 4-4-2 with the Diamonds. This time going with the same formation as San Antonio. Mo Chow getting the start, his first in a Reno 1868 uniform. Joel Quaiberg coming in from San Jose. He is also making his United Soccer League debut. Chance to get him some playing time here in downtown Reno.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on both of those fullbacks, of Brent Richards and newly acquired Joel Quaiberg. See if they can get forward, get some balls into the box, put some pressure onto the San Antonio defense, and maybe get an early goal.
Ian Russell leads the way for Reno, and on the other side of the pitch is Darren Powell for San Antonio. Both of these teams coming in the start of the day, tied for 8th place in the Western Conference. Both got off to slow starts, and both of these clubs have been playing much better as of late. We'll see how it shakes out here tonight. Reno there in the blue, and in the white, San Antonio's Truckee gets the Battle-Born Brigade going here tonight. Our referees for this matchup, head ref will be Greg Domka, Joshua Hames, and Stephen McConigal, along with Nicholas Martin, will assist. San Antonio able to advance to the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup with a win on Wednesday. Took them to PKs over Colorado Springs as Reno 1868 eliminated from the Cup by the Sac Republic at home a couple days ago. So we'll see how that affects both of these clubs as they had to play just a few days ago. And for Reno, they've been in the midst of a very, very busy month as they have had 2 games a week for the last month, and imagine that has taken its toll on this team.
Yeah, those can pile up very quickly. You want to stay healthy early on in the season, and the later it goes, the more depth that comes into play.
Reno setting something up here. Lindo Mafeka goes over to Brent Richards, and a turnover. Here comes San Antonio with a chance for a counterattack. Jose Escalante on the ball, takes a shot at it, cleared away by Luis Felipe, and Reno dodges a bullet here in the opening seconds of this one.
Yeah, that's what San Antonio is capable of. They sit compact, they invite you in, and then as soon as that turnover happens, they're off to the races going for that counterattack. I got to tell you, Reno's pretty lucky not to give up a goal there. A rough rebound by Marcinkowski there. They're lucky to walk away from that without giving up a goal.
San Antonio, a team, you make a mistake in the midfield, they're going to make you pay for it more often than not.
They will capitalize on mistakes. That's how they've built this club. It's how they did so well last year. I know they've gotten off to a rough start this year, but they are very capable of beating you in that fashion.
There's Mo Chow working on the ball. First-year pro coming out of Louisville, drafted this year by San Jose. He's played in 9 games now with Reno 1868. Brent Richards trying to get one into the box there, cleared away. Now he gets it back in there, Paul Marie, and stolen. Good job there as Greg Cochran was able to pull away a chance there from Paul Marie before he could get a shot on goal.
Those are the kinds of passes you want to see early on in this match, though. I know San Antonio is going to sit back, but if they can find those creases and get passes into the box, Reno's going to get shots on goal, and eventually they're going to score a goal. Those are the kinds of attacking plays you want to see from Reno early on.
Jerry Van Avik getting in there in the midfield, whistle blown, and it looks like Reno possession here. Van Wolfgang, you'll see on the back of his jersey, recently married before the start of the season, but in terms of the USL naming circuit and in the stat sheet, he is still Jerry Van Avik. Richards, another nice ball there. Mafeka trying to center it there for Mo Chow, and it's cleared away, but again, Reno, for the 3rd time early in this match, able to penetrate deep into San Antonio territory.
Positive. That's positive play. That's the type of play that led to the record-breaking year last year, is those balls running past defenses, sending them into the box. Those are the kinds of the plays that you want to see.
Van Avik will go down to the corner. Last season with Orange County, he was outstanding. 8 goals, 3 assists. Goes right down the middle and headed just wide of the net. Luis Felipe pulling his hands to his face. He knew he had a good chance there as San Antonio is able to dodge an early bullet in the first couple of minutes. But both teams with some chances here in the early goings.
Yeah, that was a hands-to-the-face worthy moment. That header did not miss by much. Got pretty much everything he wanted on that ball, elevated over the defense, and just put it wide. That's a really good chance in the first 5 minutes.
From San Antonio, tackle there against Jose Escalante as Felipe came in. Escalante down on the grass there as Greg Dopka will shuffle some guys around. Let's take another look here. Felipe came in hard there. Escalante looked like he was trying to leap over him, and he still was clipped by Felipe, and he is still down.
Yeah, that was more about the angle than anything, is Escalante cutting across the field as Luis Felipe, I believe, is going to get shown a yellow card here. Tough to see that early in a match, but the angle that he came at, he was late, did not go studs up, got a bit of the ball, but got way too much of Escalante. You would call that a tactical foul. He was stopping a counterattack. Worthy of a yellow card. It's just tough to see that in the first 5 minutes.
So Felipe will get that yellow, trying to break up some momentum by Escalante, 22-year-old from Honduras. He's on loan here with San Antonio from Club Deportivo Olimpia, which is a top-tier club in Honduras. Last year played with Rio Grande Valley, where he scored 4 goals. So a set piece here into the 6th minute for San Antonio. Mentioned both of these teams have been playing well. San Antonio has not lost in 5 straight. Reno over their last 7. Clipped near the box. Reno trying to clear it away, and they will. Here's Lindo Mafeka. Sends it forward for Paul Marie, able to get around a defender. Throw in from Richards goes to Chow. Guy Reno's very excited about. Has played well here in his rookie season. Trying to head that one and over the net, but another good opportunity there for Reno. Has Chow, the 2-time All-American at Louisville, trying to impress not only this Reno team, but the San Jose Earthquakes, who drafted him 35th overall, and I think they've been pleased with how he's been producing in his first 9 games.
I would say so. I think he's had a positive start on that last play. A little bit of miscommunication. You'd like to see Lindo Mfeka, who's behind him, maybe give him a moment and just say, hey, chest that down instead of taking that header. He had time to control that in the box, but that's youth. I mean, he wants to go for goal. That ball's in the box. He's going to put a header on goal, but he had a little bit more time. He'd like to see a little bit of communication, and that comes with playing with each other. Mfeka and Mo Chow, they're going to play together a lot. They're going to learn those nuances of playing with each other. They're not there yet, and still producing rather good results.
And for Chow, despite playing in 8 games, he hasn't seen very many minutes this year, only 154. But getting some quality minutes here in his first start this evening against this San Antonio club.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on tonight with these extended minutes, extended opportunities. You know he's hungry. You know he wants to score goals. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. And I'm sure if I'm the San Antonio defense, I'm keeping an eye on him as well. I'm sure they're well aware of his capabilities in that opposing box.
Here's Joel Quaiberg. Mentioned him coming down from San Jose, getting a chance to play here with Reno 1868. He's only logged 58 minutes this year in MLS play, so a chance to get him some action. A little jostling here in the midfield. Quaiberg will be whistled there as he came in with a hard shoulder. Quaiberg, 25 years old. He's from Colombia. He was born in Colombia, but he was adopted by Swedish parents. Grew up in Sweden, played professionally there for a number of years, and now coming to the United States and signing with San Jose this offseason. I know he's a fullback they're excited about, and a chance to, again, get him some minutes, and that's why this United Soccer League is so important. It gives these MLS clubs a chance to get these guys down there and play not like you would in a scrimmage. Here's a deflection there. Marcinkowski able to knock that one away. Oh, what a job by JT Marcinkowski. Not out of trouble yet, though. Felipe gets his head on the ball. It'll be tracked down there by Gordon. Here's Mikey Lopez. Centered and headed high of the net. Some dangerous moments there for Reno, but an outstanding job by the 20-year-old JT Marcinkowski. Signed to a homegrown contract with San Jose back in December. And a chance of playing his 9th game here in an 1868 uniform. Here's Richards as Reno comes quickly the other way. Marie trying to go back post. And Restrepo will come up and grab it with 2 hands.
Yeah, Marcinkowski does really well on that attacking possession there by San Antonio. Jose Escalante is going to want that header back on the rebound chance. Tried to go near post, had the far post of the goal wide open, had the entire net to look at. Tried to beat Marcinkowski near post. Marcinkowski made the play. And then Alex Bruce got an unmarked header inside the 6-yard box and skies it over the crossbar. San Antonio is going to be kicking themselves for that attack. They very, very badly needed to walk away with that with a goal.
Here's Kevin Partita, the local from Sparks, who has been outstanding in the midfield for Ian Russell. Over to Chow. Partita having to work around 3 players. Richard steps up and helps. More contact there and a whistle, and Partita looks like he's not happy with that one. A little bit of a sell there. And possession goes to San Antonio here as we enter minute 11.
And you mentioned Joel Quaiberg's story of, MLS guy getting some minutes in the USL. That's number 1 on the list of why this league is great. I think number 2 on that list is the local flavor. Having guys play for clubs, maybe they played in college, maybe they played high school. I think that's also a great part of this league. Granted, there are a lot of good things about the United Soccer League, but I think those are the top 2.
Here comes Lindo Mafeka. Finds Partita. Right-footed strike in. Restrepo hauls it in. Turnover deep in San Antonio territory, and Reno almost taking the early advantage.
You can see Diego Restrepo not happy with that. That is not characteristic of San Antonio. They don't commit turnovers like that. Reno with a good entry pass. You'd like to see Partita do a little bit better with that shot. Granted, it's on goal, but Restrepo's a good keeper. You're going to have to come with something a little more special than that to beat him. But nonetheless, more positive play from Reno. Getting those passes inside, linking up, getting balls in the box, getting shots on goal. Those are all positive signs from this team.
Throw-in goes to Gordon here. Quaiberg will play defense. I think overall, though, it feels like Reno is a lot more active, a lot more engaged than we have seen in some previous matches. They do appear to be, in my opinion, a little bit more locked in here in the first 10, 11, 12 minutes against the San Antonio club.
The energy level does seem to be a little bit higher. I think both of these teams know that they did not get off to good starts, and they're kind of done hearing about it. Both of them are on good runs right now, but they're not where they want to be. These 2 teams finished in the top 4 of USL Western Conference standings last year. They're not there right now. I think both of these teams are ready to prove something. So, I would expect both of these teams to come out with energy. Reno's shown a little bit more. San Antonio's had chances in the box in the first 15 minutes. You'd expect some more energy from these 2 sides after what we saw from them last year, but you're right. There has been a little bit more of a push in these first 12 minutes or so with Reno.
Brent Richards was tripped up a few moments ago, and they did stop play. Reno will take possession. The captain for today, Zach Carroll, on the ball. Getting that captain's armband in the absence of Jordan Morel, who suffered an injury on Wednesday in that U.S. Open Cup match. So here comes Reno again as Felipe was shoved from behind, loses possession, but Reno gets it right back thanks to Quaiberg.
Going back to that Open Cup match, both of these teams having just played on Wednesday, that's a tough thing to navigate for a manager. And I know Ian Russell had a bit of an issue with it, of trying to shuffle the rotation, trying to get different guys minutes, trying to stay rested for USL play. How much do you put in the U.S. Open Cup? How much do you put in the USL? It's, the same problem European clubs have of how much do we go in for the Champions League? How much do we go for the Premier League? Those are issues that come with being a manager of clubs like this. And Darren Powell and Ian Russell both had to navigate this past week. It's not the easiest thing to do. You also have team morale. You have guys who think they should be playing in the Open Cup and not playing. It's a very tough thing to navigate. So, coming from that match and coming to this match, energy levels, pace of play, quality of play, all those things factor in. My point is, being a manager of these clubs, not the easiest of jobs.
No, it's not, and I won't speak for Ian Russell. I don't know his opinion on this, but I'm sure there is somewhat of a sigh of relief not to have to juggle that issue anymore, and especially because of just how many matches Reno has played over the last month. They've played more matches than is normal this time of year.
And that sounds strange to some of you of, wow, a coach is happy that he's gotten knocked out of a competition. That's not the case at all. It's having to play fewer games. It's a slog. The USL season alone, you're playing a lot of matches. It's a long haul. You have to be ready. When you add in a competition like the U.S. Open Cup, it's tough to stay fit, especially early on in the season. You know, guys are just getting into, game shape. It's tough. It's not the easiest things, easiest of things to do. So it's not like, he's happy to be knocked out of the Open Cup. No one is. You're in a competition. You want to win that competition. But you're right. That comes with a sigh of relief, is saying, oh, now I don't have to worry about that. Now, the flip side of that is you're expecting better results in USL play because there's no other distractions. There's no other competition that you're looking at. You want results in USL now.
Lindo Mafeka leading one there for Partita, who is trying to save it on that back line there. Couldn't control himself, and here comes San Antonio trying to put together as Carroll will escort that one out of play. Paul Marie with a pass off to Lindo Mafeka. And whistle blown as Reno will keep possession here. A little bit of contact there between Guadarrama and Mafeka.
Yeah, it just looked like a late step-in challenge. Didn't see much there for, stoppage of play or for a foul. I think Reno had a little bit of an advantage, but nonetheless, a stern talking to for both players. Now the fake handshake that says they're friends. Always my favorite part of those interactions.
Here's Brent Richards back for his second season here in Reno. He's been a huge part of this team. That right fullback spot, we're used to seeing him play up the field. A former college forward at the University of Washington, a very capable goal scorer, and usually very involved in Reno's offensive attack. One of their top chance creators. Pops one up here. Mafeka losing out to a much taller player there, as Rochendale was able to temporarily clear that one away. Back to Zach Carroll, the 24-year-old from Michigan, came over from Orlando City in the offseason. He was also an all-league second-teamer back in 2016 while playing for the New York Red Bulls too. Carroll, a nice addition to this team. And when I talked to Ian Russell about playing in the U.S. Open Cup, one feeling he had that he felt like his team maybe had somewhat of an advantage is because how deep he feels like his team is. And that depth is being challenged right now due to some injuries that he's fighting and as we mentioned, the amount of games. But adding a guy like Carroll to this back four certainly was a nice move in the offseason by the front office as well as Ian Russell.
Yeah, if we've seen anything the past few years in USL play and U.S. Open Cup, you need depth. You need depth to advance in both competitions. You need depth to advance in any one of the competitions. And it's going to be tested. Even, if you're full health to start the season, you're going to have injury spells during the year. You're going to need guys to step up. You might need guys to play in positions that they're not comfortable playing. You might need a forward to play right back. You might need a center mid to step up and play striker. Those kinds of things happen. So when you have that depth, it is definitely a positive, but it can also be tough. I mean, you can put a strain on guys when the depth is tested. So when you go through a couple of weeks that Reno has just gone through, that San Antonio has just gone through, it can be tough to walk out of that fully healthy. Sometimes guys just pick up a knock. It's tough to navigate those things.
Lopez trying to find one in there. Good breakup there by Richards. And another whistle. Again from our head referee, Greg Dopka. Carroll trying to get it back into play. He'll be told to hold on a second. Looks like Dopka really trying to assert his presence on this pitch as well, and I think he has been a little bit, I don't want to say aggressive, but he has certainly been asserting himself here early.
Well, especially when you see a yellow card in the first 5 minutes. You're aware of the referee's presence at that point. Great ball.
Carroll finds Richards. See who touched it last. And it looks like it was off on Brent Richards, so a goal kick now coming for Restrepo. Born in Venezuela, grew up in West Palm Beach, and as we mentioned during the open of our broadcast, last year's goalkeeper of the year, and he was absolutely tremendous for San Antonio as part of their top 2 finish, as he would put together 12 clean sheets. Richards puts his head in there to get it out of the box. Trying to find Bruce there, and that time he was overshot as that one will head out. And Marcinkowski with the goal kick here.
Good job of that Reno back line, getting back in defense in front of Marcinkowski. Brent Richards does really well with that clearing header. Just good communication, knowing where the ball is, knowing who's picking up what man. You saw San Antonio. They're capable of doing that. They've played pretty much this entire first half in their own end. As soon as they get the ball, they're going to attack you. They will get guys forward. They will get guys into the box and send balls in there and try and get headers on goal. Reno's very aware of that. They got back on defense and cleared the ball off well.
Thomas Janjigian getting into the action now as he finds the other center back, Carroll. 0-0 here, 21st minute in downtown Reno. First matchup between these two Western Conference foes. Little Mafeka trying to get to that one, but he was beat. But a throw-in now coming in from Paul Marie.
Should be a corner kick, yes.
Yeah, it will be a corner kick. We'll see if they'll keep Marie or send down Van Avik. And it looks like Jerry's going to go down to that right corner. Second time for a corner here in the first half for Reno. The first one was good and headed just wide. See what 1868 can do here. Van Avik. Marie will go race it down. Trying to get it back into the box. Queinberg will step up now. Nice job there to keep possession. Over to Mo Chow. Not what he wanted to do there as it's intercepted by San Antonio. Here comes that quick counter. Omar Gordon. Gordon trying to squeeze in between Chow and Partita and a whistle. And that one came just outside the box. And again, we'll look at the contact. Here's Partita as well as Chow, and you can see Chow came in from behind him. Hard to tell what kind of contact he made. Gordon, though, going down to the grass, and whether it was hard or not, it looked maybe harder than it was, and Dopka is going to give a set-piece opportunity to San Antonio from just outside the box.
Yeah, it's a tough free kick to give up. You know, when you've got your forward tracking back like that, not a position he's normally in. Gordon gives a nice little Maradona move to try and get into space. Didn't look like he was going to attack that ball, but that's a tough foul to give up.
Too strong back into the Battle-Born Brigade, and again, Reno able to withstand a chance from San Antonio here in the first half.
It's a daunting place to try and score if you're an opposing team, especially on a free kick there in front of that brigade. They are loud and rambunctious down there.
Paul Marie, Brent Richards. A little back and forth. Back to Luis Felipe, his second season in a Reno uniform. Signed last year mid-season, impressed so much that he was offered a contract by the Earthquakes during the offseason, but back here for the majority of the time here in downtown Reno to get some reps.
And that goes back to our point of, you know, this is a good part of USL. Is this guy played well in this league, played well enough to get a look at the next level. Now, you know, there's a logjam at the position. Send him back down, let him get reps. When he's ready, have him come back up. That's pretty much the exact system you want to build if you're looking at an affiliation system, is guys being able to come down and get reps, get playing time, stay in game shape, that if they're called on for the big club, that they can go right back into it. Luis Felipe is the perfect example of that.
Restrepo able to beat Chow to pull one down. Well, and Reno, when you look at their inaugural season, very successful on a number of reasons. First, the record. which is obvious. They were a playoff team, 17 wins, 59 points, finishing in third. Here comes San Antonio again. Not cleared this time. And a shot at ricocheted, and another diving stop by Marcinkowski. Guadarrama with a blast there, and Marcinkowski helping keep San Antonio off the board.
Yeah, Brent Richards, you'd like to see him do a little bit better, staying in front of the ball there. Really a solid strike from Guadarrama. Just put it a little too high. Marcinkowski clamoring with his teammates saying, let's get more ball pressure there. Not a lot of guys in front of him behind the ball, but Reno a little bit lucky to walk away. Still 0-0 in this match. I thought San Antonio's had 3 or 4 really good looks on goal.
Back to Richards and Felipe as Reno will collect themselves. But I was saying not only the record was a success and the fact that Reno set a new record, 75 goals, but the player development and the amount of players they are able to advance up to the MLS ranks. When you saw Chris Weehan and Jimmy Ockford, they were both offered contracts by the Earthquakes. And then Dane Kelly, who went over and played professionally in India for a little bit of a while, the all-time leading scorer in USL history, he was able to pick up a contract from DC United.
It's kind of remarkable, Reno's first season. I mean,
there's a chance here for Reno as that one is stopped again by Restrepo. But Carroll again getting involved in the action as he set up a nice ball into the box for Lindo Mafeka.
Yeah, these are the types of balls you want to see if you're Reno. Not enough on that shot from Mafeka. You can see he's disappointed with that strike. But again, shots on goal are never a bad thing against San Antonio. Going back to it, Reno's first year, and, we're a little bit biased, but it really was just a remarkable inaugural year for a club that they really hit every box that you want to hit. Yes, they produced results. Yes, they produced entertaining soccer. But yes, they developed players. They got players ready for the next level, which is, a tagline for USL is this is developmental league. Yes, it's professional league, and, we're fighting against MLS teams. But to be able to develop those guys while also producing good results, quality play, entertaining play for fans, you really can't ask for much more out of an inaugural season. And I think Reno was pretty happy with that performance last year.
Here's Richards again. Over to Mafeka. Mafeka getting tangled up there. Pressure coming from Paul Marine. It's stolen away by Partita. Good combination there. Partita trying to go back to Mafeka, and it's cleared out. Marie trying to find Chow. Van Avik will go try and track it down, but it goes out in San Antonio now with the throw-in.
Yeah, Reno's getting that first ball in. They're sending it through the midfield into the forwards, but then there's not a secondary run. It's kind of stationary as that ball gets into the box. I think if Reno is going to break down this defense, I think that ball's going to have to go into the forwards and maybe a quick layoff pass, maybe a 1-2 combination, maybe a little bit give and go. It's going to have to be one of those types of moves. You're not going to beat San Antonio with one pass in the box and a shot. It's tough to beat them that way.
Whistle against San Antonio. Reno keeping possession here. Here's Carroll coming up from his center back spot again. Queiberg able to straddle that line over there. Finds Chow in the box. Cleared by Lopez. Janjigian protecting midfields. Here comes Reno again.
And if Reno can consistently do that tonight, stay in the attacking zone, and if the counterattack happens, make one quick tackle, get the ball right back in. They may not see a perfect result from this match, but they'll be okay with that. You can live with that. As long as you're attacking and not getting beat on the counterattack, you can put guys forward. You can send your center backs into the midfield and have them step forward, but you can't allow the counterattacks. That's the only thing.
I got to tell you, Reno to me has been much cleaner overall in the midfield in this contest so far, but here comes San Antonio once again. It's Bruce Janjigian meeting the challenge in a one-on-one battle, and Thomas Janjigian wins that one.
That's a good stand-up tackle. A little bit more of a counterattack than you'd like to see, but good.
Here's Mafeka. Marie. Ricochet off the post. And Chow has it taken away by King. Now Jerry Van Avik.
It's going to go out for a corner kick. Man, oh man, the deflection just took enough of a touch to block it off the post. Paul Marie did really well. A great layoff pass. That's the type of pass that you're looking for. You send it into these forwards, and then it's got to be a ball back. Guys making the secondary run. Paul Marie made a perfect secondary run. Just couldn't loft the shot over the lost foot. But man, oh man, so close.
And what a job. Without quickly, Reno turned the field from that stop by Janjigi into how quickly they gave themselves an opportunity.
All positives.
Here's Van Avik.
A little bit of a conference going on in the goalie's box right now. Strepo barking out orders to his defenders.
Paul Marie from outside the box. Felix gets his body in front of it. Partita maybe trying to find a combo there with Felipe, but Restrepo will get it back out. Kwyberg intercepts, helping prevent the counterattack.
You'd like to see a little bit better distribution there from Restrepo. Your team's just had to sit back for 5 or 6 solid minutes. Maybe let the guys get forward. Maybe get a little offensive possession time, but just gives it right back, and Reno's right back on the attack.
Richards has it stolen away by Lopez. Still putting pressure as Richards will knock it out. And a goal kick coming from Restrepo, but really for these last 10 minutes, it really feels like Reno has been living in San Antonio's half of the field, and although they have not had a goal to be rewarded, they have certainly had a very good feel, especially in the midfield in this one.
Yeah, but you can also see them picking up on what San Antonio's defense is doing. All of this time in the attacking zone is allowing them different looks and different types of passes like this one.
Chow and Mafeka, neither of them able to get a quality shot off. But again, Reno, there's another interception in the midfield. Felipe over to Marie. Chow tripped up just outside the box. And that's going to be a free kick for Reno.
Now that is a positive from a young forward, making that type of turn with the ball loose like that, knowing that defender's charging in hard. Paul Marie picks his eyes up, sends that ball in. Chow can just feel the guys on his back, turns, knows that second defender's coming. That's a real solid move, real good look from the young forward. And this is a very dangerous spot for a free kick.
Mafeka. Van Avik over the ball. Can Reno break a 0-0 tie here in the 33rd minute? It's Mafeka curling towards the corner. And a good effort there by Lindo Mafeka, just a touch off. But a quality strike from the South African midfielder.
That is the angle you want to look at, is that near post, just curl it up and over the wall. It's an extremely tough thing to do, is get it up and down over that wall. And Mfeka just gave it his best effort right there. I'm sure he's a little disappointed, but that's about as close as you can come from that spot. A solid free kick shot.
San Antonio trying to organize the offensive half. Throw-in goes to Gordon. Omar Gordon deflected by Felipe. San Antonio will keep it. Here's Cochran. Back to Lopez. Swing it over to Felix.
Those are the types of plays that I think caught MLS scouts' eyes with Luis Felipe. Just staying stride for stride, step for step with a forward, looking to get a shot off, keeping his arms behind his back, not getting called for a handball, stepping in and blocking that shot away. That may seem like a very simple task for a holding midfielder, but when you go against guys who are quick and fast and have the quick feet to get those shots off, that's something you look for, and Luis Felipe has those characteristics of a good holding mid.
Partida finds Mafeka, and we'll see if it was Cochran or Mafeka who touched that one last. And it looks like Reno has earned yet another corner kick. And Van Wolfgang will head down to it. Jerry Van Avik, 1 goal in USL play. He had 3, a hat trick against Portland under 23 in the U.S. Open Cup. Headed and too high as Brent Richards was able to get a clean knock at that one.
If I'm Diego Restrepo, I'm having words with my defenders at halftime and telling them no more free headers. We've got to clear some of these away. Reno's gotten way too many chances in the box there.
Here's Queinberg on the throw-in. Stolen away by Gordon. Trying to find Alex Bruce there. Good patience there by Reno. Carroll finds Richards. Here's Lindo Mafeka. Chow is tripped up just outside the box. No whistle this time, though. More of a slip. Van Avik. Queiberg trying to find Marie, and Chow, I think, surprised to see the ball there. Wasn't ready for it, and it ricochets out of play.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there from Chow, but positive play again from Reno, pushing forward, staying in the offensive box. It's all the types of things that they want to be doing. Now they just got to find that final pass. They've linked up a couple of times. They've sent balls into the box. These are all positive things.
There's no doubt this lineup here in this first half has created a really good rhythm offensively.
Yeah, they look like they're in sync. The chemistry looks good. The passes are there. They're linking up well. They know where the other one's going to be. What I'm most impressed with is the snuffing out of the counterattacks. They've had it a couple of times where, one guy cuts off the dribble, the other guy comes and takes the ball away. That's also a huge positive is being able to play together and close down space like you're seeing now. If you can close down space together, you're going to take the ball away from a lot of good teams.
And doing that defensively without their captain, Jordan Morel.
Positives. It's all positive. This has been a good half.
Headed by Van Avik. Felipe sends it to Partida. Lopez sends it down the field, and Marcinkowski will go scoop it up.
Yeah, not really the pass you're looking for if you're San Antonio. You want to try and play through the midfield, maybe get guys a little bit more forward there, just trying for these long, looping, searching balls. Not sure those are going to work against Reno.
Chow getting slipped up there. Escalante. Back to Pekka. Felix trying to go over the top and too far as Reno will throw it in for Janjigian.
Always a little jealous when you encounter a Brazilian football player that goes by one name. They figured it out very early that it's cool to have that.
It is a long, full name for Pekka.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Chow. Good combination. Van Ivik. Goal! Reno strikes first. It's 1-0.
The exact kind of distribution you want to see from Reno. That long ball in, forward makes a good run. Eyes are up. Everybody's eyes are up. They're looking to play together. Chow sends that through. Perfect through ball. And Jerry Van Avik, just a perfect touch on that shot. Diego Restrepo actually gets a paw on it. Not enough, but this ball from Chow, that is inch perfect on that ball. Reno rewarded with a goal, as I think they should have been. An excellent opening tally from the Reno 1868.
Such a quality effort on so many levels. It started with Carroll, then Marie, then the great ball by Chow, and then the finish from Van Avik, who has now scored in consecutive USL matches. We mentioned him in the open, a guy that this club felt like could be an MVP level player in Ian Russell's offensive system. And talking about chemistry, talked to him earlier this week, and he really felt like Van Avik was starting to figure things out, and the chemistry of him playing with the rest of this team, and the team is starting to see some of those results come together.
Yeah, that was good chemistry there. That had looked like him and Mo Chow have been playing together for years. That's the exact type of ball you want from a Chow to a Van Avik. Those runs by forwards, those passes, those through balls in, that's the ball you want to look for. And the chemistry that you're talking about, getting used to this system, he looks like he's getting more comfortable, Jerry Van Avik. And if that's true, I don't know if it's going to necessarily be like last year for Reno. I don't know that any team can really replicate that.
You can't really expect that every year.
You can't replicate that formula every year. But if you get Van Avik going, especially if he develops chemistry with Mo Chow, you can expect some more goals, especially if they're making runs off of each other like that. And you've got guys like Paul Marie in the midfield looking with his eyes up to send those through balls in. These are all positives.
And here's a card coming out of the pocket.
Escalante does not look very happy getting that card. And another really dangerous spot.
Well, again, Reno has just been so relentless in the offensive end in this contest. You know, when I had that conversation with Ian Russell and we were talking about where they were having defensive struggles earlier in the season, he pointed out it was really because it was across the whole field, and oftentimes the defensive issues were starting at the top, and the fact that Reno was just not getting pressure. They've had pressure really for about 30 minutes straight here.
Sometimes your best defense is a good offense, and that may sound strange, but if you're able to press forward and keep attack on, and then when you lose the ball, to keep that pressure up, it takes so much pressure off your back line, and that's something we weren't seeing from Reno early on in this year. I think the more they get the attacking play going, the easier it's going to be on the defensive side of Reno, and they're going to start figuring things out.
This time it's Van Avik who takes the shot and ricochets off of the wall, and that was a good-looking ball from Jerry Van Avik, as Reno will now send him down to the corner.
He was looking in the right spot. Going to Diego Restrepo's left. Just didn't get it quite high enough, but that's the type of free kick you're looking for. And now Reno gets another corner kick in this first half.
Van Avik goes long this time, and it goes off of a defender. What a lucky chance there, as standing in the goal was Sonny Guadarrama. And how did the ball happen to just find him standing there in the corner? Unbelievable bad luck there by Brent Richards, who sent a screamer straight into Sonny Guadarrama. Or excuse me, that was Paul Marie.
I think if you asked him if he had struck a ball ever in his life better than that, he probably would tell you no. What a shot.
Now Mafeka trying to get one in there for Chow, as Restrepo cannot even catch his breath here.
Another tough foul. Just looked like a late challenge there. See Partita going in, does not get the ball, comes over the top. Catches Darnell King. King in a bit of pain here. Finally on his feet, stretching it out. But Partita just going in a little bit late. Now here's the key for Reno. You got your goal, you have your 1-0 lead. You do not want to let San Antonio equalize going into halftime. You want all hands on deck to go into halftime with this 1-0 lead.
1-0 Reno after the goal here in the first half by Jerry Van Avik. That one lobbed in there. Janjigian was able to clear it. And Reno avoids trouble, but now another whistle, and Dobka again wants to stop play here.
Having a chatty night, likes to talk to these guys. Janjigian did real well there, getting a foot on that ball, just clearing it away, giving the back line enough time to step forward. Solid play from the back line tonight from Reno.
See there, just 1 minute of stoppage time added here.
Sure, Ian Russell will be okay with that.
Marcinkowski will take his time here, give his directions. And a whistle again as Restrepo will go and collect the ball. Queiberg on the throne as we tick down the final seconds here in the first half. And there is your first half whistle. So Reno 1868 with a very quality first half here at Greater Nevada Field. And they will take a 1-0 advantage into the half. We'll step aside, come back with some halftime features, and we'll show you the highlights of this one before the second 45 here in downtown Reno. But you see the score there. Reno 1868 1, San Antonio nothing. What do you try and do here in the second half to equalize this contest?
As crazy as it seems, I wouldn't change much. I would still, stay the way you've been playing, invite Reno into attack, maybe be a little bit more aggressive on the the interventions. I think there's too many balls that are coming from Reno's back line into the forwards. I think those long passes need to be snuffed out a little bit better by San Antonio's defense. But as far as major changes, I wouldn't shake anything up if I were San Antonio. They did have their chances early on in that first half. They are able to counterattack. They've just got to get that secondary run going. So if they send the long looping ball, they need to get guys forward, which is tough because Reno's lived in their back line. So it's kind of a give and take. But as far as changes, I wouldn't make any major changes if I'm Darren Powell. I see how these next 15 or so minutes go. If I need to make a change, I've got guys on the bench that I can bring on. But as far as major changes, I'm sticking to the game plan.
Couple unbeaten streaks on the line at the start of the contest. Reno has not lost in 7 consecutive USL matches. For San Antonio, they come in having not lost over their last 5. Both of these teams came in with 14 points, and it tied for 8th place, which is the cutoff line in the USL when it comes to playoffs, which is still a long ways away. Not even time to think about that, but certainly for both of these teams after slow starts, this is when you really want to start getting going in the season, and this is where we saw Reno last year really take off and vault themselves into that upper third of the Western Conference.
I think if you told Darren Powell and Ian Russell to start the year that they'd be in, fighting for 8th place, I think both of them would be pretty disappointed with that, especially this early in the season. But with the recent results, San Antonio on this long streak, Reno, of course, on this long streak, I think they've both got to be okay with where they're at right now, especially with Reno, as we've been talking about. The chemistry is looking to get there. They're getting a little bit closer to what we saw last year, and if they can replicate anything close to that, I think they'll get back up in that top 4 echelon of the Western Conference, as well as San Antonio. I think if they keep playing their defensive style and can score a few more goals, they've just been so starved for goals early on in this year. Their defense has been pretty stout. They've only allowed now 11 on the year, which is top 10 in the league. I think both of these sides, if you told them at the beginning of the year that they'd be in this spot, they'd be disappointed. But if you told them the streaks that they're on, I think they'd be like, okay, we're going to be fine, stick to the course, we'll get there, we'll get into that playoff picture.
Yeah, and I think Reno went through this 2 years in a row. Last year they started slow, but saw their season caught fire. So I don't think there's a whole lot of panic again this year because of what they went through a season ago. So we're underway here in the second half between Reno and San Antonio. 1868 in the Blues. San Antonio and the Road Whites. Comes Darnell King coming up from his center back spot and streaking all the way down the pitch. And cleared away by Quaiberg in an early corner kick now for San Antonio as Omar Gordon will head down.
And that is a little bit of a change-up from the first half. Is Darnell King getting forward, making that long run from his position at right back. That's something to keep an eye on if I'm Ian Russell. If San Antonio's fullbacks are making runs like that, maybe you push back a little bit. Playing with the one-goal lead, you don't necessarily have to be in attack mode all the time.
Gordon going near corner,
Oh,
and
my
that
goodness.
one made it in. What a job by Omar Gordon as he's able to equalize it himself, and very quickly here into the second half, we are knotted at 1 goal apiece.
Well, it's not the worst goalkeeping play we've seen in the soccer world today, but definitely you'd like to see something better out of Marcinkowski here. A perfectly placed ball from Omar Gordon. I mean, you can't really put it in a more dangerous spot for this type of corner kick, but Marcinkowski, you'd like to see him try and punch that out rather than go two hands and flail at it. But I mean, really, that's a 1 in 100 chance of that ball going in the net from a corner kick there. Really unfortunate circumstances from Reno. You just got to hand it to him. That's a perfect ball from a corner kick and a really unlucky play here for Reno.
So Gordon, the 26-year-old Jamaican, in the 47th minute has tied this contest up. We'll see how Reno responds here.
You won't see that often. It just very rarely happens in soccer of a corner kick taking that turn and going in on its own. Usually you'd have a little bit taller guy there at the near post. Now you're nitpicking here because the chances of that happening are so small, but man, oh man, that's a really tough way to let up the equalizer for Reno to start this second half.
Brent Richards will give a little space there for Marcinkowski, who blasts it to the other side of the field. San Antonio will do the same thing, sending it back to Restrepo. Some pressure from Chow there. Here's Gordon in the midfield being guarded by Quaiberg.
Tough ball. Hard for Gordon to handle that. Those are the types of balls San Antonio has been looking for, though. Those long, searching balls out on the wing. If you're Reno, that's where you want the ball to go on a long ball. You don't want a long ball in the middle. Those are a lot more dangerous. You want it to send it out to the wing, get your back line in position, and you live with those.
Reno going over the top, trying to get Chow, and Restrepo able to grab that one.
I don't think Restrepo's been very happy with the defensive play of the guys in front of him tonight. Every time we see him up close and personal, he's having words with his back line, with his midfielders, just not necessarily pleased. I don't blame him. This has not been a very characteristic game for San Antonio's defense. They're usually a lot sharper. Not as many turnovers. They've had some very poor turnovers in the back line. So Restrepo's done his best. I mean, he's kept them right in this match as he's done so much of his time in San Antonio. Of course, goalkeeper of the year last year. He's been on the USL Team of the Week this year. He's a fantastic keeper, but I don't think he's been very pleased with the effort of the guys in white jerseys tonight.
Janjigian going for the clear, headed back towards Reno as Richards now to Carroll. Here's Paul Marie making a move on the outside. Looking for Chow there. Now King will clear it. Reno coming quickly again. Van Avink. Paul Marie. Looking for Chow again. Now Richards. Van Avink off into the Battle-Born Brigade.
Didn't miss by much, but again, the combination play, the linking up of midfielders and forwards for this Reno 1868 side has been good, and it's getting better. We talked about it earlier, the chemistry of this team. These guys haven't played that much together. At times it's shown that they haven't been on the same page, but it's getting there. And tonight's a step in the right direction for Reno because of the passing. Everyone's eyes are up. When that ball comes to them, they're looking to make that next pass. They're both making runs into good spots. It's all what you want to see if you're Ian Russell and Reno.
Here's Gordon again being disruptive in Reno's half, and a good break up there by Van Avink.
You can say that. He nutmegged Omar Gordon there with a back heel. That was some fantastic skill.
Now it's Reno trying to put together a counterattack, and Mafeka putting the pressure there as Rochendale will clear it away. There's the Battle-Born Brigade flying those flags proudly behind the San Antonio goal. You can best believe that they will be loud and active against Diego Restrepo here in the second 45. Here's a throw-in from Richards. Restrepo can contact there from behind, and whistle blown as Restrepo is on his back.
I don't know what else Mo Chow is supposed to do there. He should be able to stand his ground. Restrepo's the one charging out. Mo Chow didn't even really make a play on the ball. He's kind of just standing there getting shoved off by a defender. I'm not sure what more you want from Mo Chow in that scenario. That's a really tough foul call. I mean, Restrepo goes down on his own. He's making the run. He's making the punch out. As a goalkeeper, you have to be aware of if there's guys underneath you, you know, they have the right to that space. I'm not so sure about that foul call.
Well, you saw there, first Chow was picked by one of the defenders for San Antonio, so he was already kind of boxed off there, and then it was Restrepo who was running up. Here's the replay again. Here's the throw-in from Richards. And watch, he's being boxed out already, and there's Restrepo just comes from behind here. I mean, what is like you're saying? I mean, what are you supposed to do there?
Yeah, it's Ryan Felix going up against Mo Chow, both big, strong, tough guys. Just kind of, you know, like in a box out for a rebound in a basketball game. Just both guys, you know, able to get to their position, and then Restrepo comes flying in to punch that ball out. Mo Chow has every right to be where he was. He didn't make an attempt to go win that ball from Restrepo. I don't know. I think that's a tough call.
So Restrepo up and gingerly walking around as San Antonio sending 4 shirts on the other side of the field. Here's Gordon. Links up with King. Turns it over, and Chow get it back to his midfield. That one's stolen away from Partita. Here's Paul Marie. And before Marie can keep going, a whistle blown.
Just clipped him from behind. I think Paul Marie thought he got a little bit more of the ball than the referee did. Now we're seeing San Antonio push up forward a little bit more. Got guys in the offensive zone. Just 2 men back. They're looking to attack. This ball comes in. Dangerous ball. Oh, boy.
Marcinkowski having to dive on that one. Certainly not what Reno wanted to see here, having already given up the equalizer to Gordon about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, Joel Quaiberg and Marcinkowski not really on the same page there, not communicating. Quaiberg had a little bit of time to turn and clear that away. Don't really want to concede a corner kick.
Gordon going far this time, headed, and Marcinkowski able to reach up and pull that one away as Ryan Felix was going for a second head. And we'll keep this knotted up at 1-1 as we head into minute 56.
You can see this defensive pressure a little bit higher from San Antonio right now. I think it's safe to say they've been on the front foot in this second half.
There's Carroll with another good pass from his center back spot. Finding Richards.
Great tackle.
Does Escalante with the takeaway there.
And he's on a caution. That's an even better tackle. Knowing you're on a yellow, making that dangerous slide, coming away with just the ball and turning over possession. That's pretty much textbook, exactly how you teach those. Liverpool earlier today, just not a great rebound chance. Restrepo making a face. That's a rebound he's not used to giving up. Not necessarily his best moment. Mo Chow, you'd like to see him try and beat him far post. Tried to beat him 5-hole really. Not much time to react to that loose ball. Really, you just want to put that back on goal. But again, as a forward, you become a little selfish in those instances. You think to yourself, man, I really should have scored that, when that in reality that's a really tough ball to send back on, especially when you're not expecting a rebound chance from a keeper as quality as Diego Restrepo.
Restrepo will take his time here before sending it back into play. Not only the USL goalkeeper of the year last year, but in 2016 with Fort Lauderdale. Helped them to a deep run in the U.S. Open Cup. He was a national championship during his college days at the University of Virginia. Reno will send Brent Richards to the throw-in. Janjigian down to Quaiberg. Over to Partita. Good patience here by Reno. Mafeka back to Partita. Sends it wide for Richards. Richards into the box. And that one's going to go into a corner kick.
Ryan Rushendell making that last final touch there. Looked like Paul Marie was in the box there for a chance. Being in the right place at the right time from Rushendell, San Antonio's captain. Reno gets another corner kick.
Jerry Van Avik had the first goal towards the end of the first half. Sends that one short, and we'll go right back at it.
And that was actually a really good idea to play short. San Antonio not really sending anyone in that area. Just got the timing a little off there, but that's the right ball to play.
A little higher this time. Janjigian giving chase. And deflected as Lopez was looking for a clear.
Life comes at you fast. Had a foot right in there for Janjigian. Made the deflection. Again, one time out of 100, that ball's going to spark up and hit you in the face, and that was it.
Another whistle from our head referee tonight, which is Greg Dopka.
It seems as though Darren Powell is content with what he's seeing on the field. I'm looking over at San Antonio's bench. Doesn't look like anyone's getting warmed up or stretching or anything like that. This might be the squad he's running with.
Here comes a wave from Reno. Quaiberg. Earns a foul.
He's asking for a card. I wouldn't be surprised to see one. A nice tug of the jersey there from Pekka. Good quality touch there, taking him right into contact, and then just having the strength to muscle Pekka off, and Pekka sends out that left arm, and you're always going to get that foul called. Another dangerous spot. Good chance for a cross in. You're looking for a guy like Mo Chow or Thomas Janjigian to get on the end of this one.
Jerry Van Avik. Chance to put Reno back in front. Here it comes. Deflected in. And Reno takes the lead as Mo Chow delivers.
Bing, bang, boom. Nice deflection, leaving that ball loose in the box. Looked like the initial touch was going to take it towards goal. Restrepo actually does really well there. Just get a hand on it, but he sends it right up. And Mo Chow in a perfect position to make the play there. Restrepo is going to be very upset when he sees that on tape. He makes that save and sends it right into the path of Mo Chow. Really, Mo Chow, all he had to do was stick his head in there. Didn't even make that much of contact. Man, that's called being in the right place at the right time for Mo Chow. Unassisted goal, but an excellent free kick taken by Jerry Van Avik there.
Here's the blue smoke from the Battle-Born Brigade. One thing that impressed me on that goal as well, it was Chow who headed it the first time, and then, of course, deflected off of the defender, and then he finished it up for what is his second goal in USL action as Gordon quickly again. That was another nice shot from him as he was trying to bend one into the upper corner. San Antonio quickly trying to equalize here, not wasting any time. Maybe trying to catch Reno a little flat-footed there. Able to withstand that first attempts. Here's King now. Darnell King, 27-year-old out of Tampa, Florida. Back over to Gordon. Experienced player with the Jamaican national team. Able to keep that one in play in front of Quaiberg. Good ball movement here. King centers it, headed and high. That was a real quality chance from San Antonio, but the header from Bruce goes over the top of the net.
Yeah, Alex Bruce is not going to enjoy watching the tape of this game. He's had really 2 free headers on the 6-yard box. That's a much tougher one than the first one, but as a forward, you've got to expect that ball to come to you. I think he's going to have a tough time watching his chances tonight. But going back to Reno's goal, something you mentioned of Mo Chow getting that initial touch on the Van Avik free kick, that's a really good sign from a young forward of him making that initial play and not giving up on the play. Making that initial touch and you know, not just standing and watching the play move forward, of him getting right back in a position just in case that ball's going to get loose and making that second header. That's a very good sign from a young forward. Most guys would make that first initial header and start running away from goal thinking, you know, it's glory time, I've just scored, where Mo Chow said, I made that initial touch, I'm going to stay on goal just in case this is deflected, and he was rewarded with a goal.
Looks like they did issue a yellow card there to Joel Quaiberg. On for Chow getting his first USL start. We mentioned he's been impressive, but he's only had a chance to play in 154 minutes in 8 appearances this year. And again, getting some really quality minutes tonight. And even before the goal, I think he has played very well. He had the assists on the goal earlier to Van Avik. If you're the San Jose Earthquakes, if you're Ian Russell, you've got to be very pleased with this young man from Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, I think this is the best Mo Chow we've seen. He had a game earlier this year in Sacramento where him and Brian Brown came on as substitutes and completely changed that game, 3 goals in 5 minutes. I think that was a really good stretch for Mo Chow, but I think this is the most consistent we've seen him play. He's really putting balls together, linking up with his teammates. As I said, being in the right place at the right time. That's exactly what you want out of a striker is being in those places. Just in case the ball is going to come loose, being there. Be a poacher. Be a guy who's on the doorstep every time. Keep knocking and put those balls in the back of the net. This has been a very strong performance from Mo Chow. Even if you take away the goal, I think he's already proven that he's capable of playing these types of minutes for Ian Russell.
Chance here for San Antonio. Gordon cleared away by Janjigian. What a job there to follow through on that one. Oh, that was an outstanding stop from Thomas Janjigian to help out his keeper, JT Marcinkowski. Check this out.
Yeah, Marcinkowski not really sure what to do with that ball early on. Alex Bruce sends it across the crossbar. I'm telling you, Alex Bruce is not going to enjoy watching this tape again. Another 6-yard box header, but an excellent play, as you mentioned, from Janjigian and Marcinkowski. A little bit bailed out, didn't know what to do initially, on that cross as we see Mo Chow coming out of this, as we just talked about, a very solid performance from him. But Janjigian, I think, saved a goal for Reno.
So Chow is out. Brian Brown, the Jamaican, is in. As Lindo Mafeka crosses the field looking for Quaiberg. It was too strong, and in San Antonio will go to a quick throw in from King. Gives it to Gordon, who's been very involved. Another chance, and the youngster Bruce unable to corral that one as Marcinkowski takes a blow and jumps on the ball. And Alex Bruce maybe showing his youth a little bit there. The 19-year-old from England had a really good spot on a ball in from Omar Gordon, but unable to finish.
Yeah, I would actually argue that that was his best chance of the night. That through ball was perfect from Gordon. Just slid it through two different defenders and right to the feet of Bruce, and just really bungled that first touch and looked like Marcinkowski was a little bit out of position and then was able to spring into action, which is also a good sign for Marcinkowski that he's able to make those reads, because he was put in a tough position there with a guy with the ball and inside the box. Do you come out? Do you stay on your goal box? I mean, that's a tough position to be put in, but he made the right play. That's a good sign from a young keeper. But man, oh man, Alex Bruce not going to enjoy this game tape.
Almost halfway through this second half, and Reno with a 2-1 advantage. Goal in the first half from Van Ivik, a goal in the second half from Chow. Here's Gordon again. Look at his tenacity there going for the ball, and another whistle from Dopka. And Gordon does not like that one.
Good positioning play there from Joel Quaiberg. Gordon looks like a little bit more pace than Quaiberg there, but Quaiberg just able to get his body in front of Gordon, slow his momentum. He's very much granted that space and then goes and gets the ball. Gordon makes a little tug at his jersey, I think is what the foul was called. But a solid play there from Quaiberg, dealing with the pace of Gordon out wide.
Carroll trying to find Brown there. Marie giving chase, and with a tackle there, that might earn him a card.
Really just no reason for a tackle there. All eyes on you. That it's not even much of a counterattack. Just stay stride for stride with him there. That's not even a good spot to make a foul. You got the sideline there. Use it as a second defender. Pretty rough tackle there from Paul Marie. Very much worthy of that yellow card. Close down in space there from Partita.
King leading Gordon. And Quaiberg now able to cut him off. Janjigian will just clear it away. Give his defense a chance to reset before the throw in here. San Antonio will swing it around to the other side.
San Antonio is in attack mode. They have everyone forward right now.
Watch Gordon from behind, and Gordon with a chance at a header there and couldn't control it. But San Antonio is having much more success here in the second half at getting some chances in front of JT Marcinkowski.
If I'm Joel Quaiberg, I'm spending the next 20-plus minutes in the pocket of Omar Gordon. I'm not letting him get anywhere where I'm not, especially on a header chance like that. Quaiberg thought he was in a good spot to make an easy clearing header, and Gordon snuck up right behind him. If I'm Quaiberg, I know exactly where Omar Gordon is the rest of this match.
Well, he's definitely been a catalyst for San Antonio as their offense is starting to get into a nice rhythm. We'll give it to Gordon again. Quaiberg steps up and is able to intercept it. Janjigi in the clearance. And a throw in now coming up for San Antonio as Pekka will hand it off.
This is a situation where you're going to see Reno's defense tested. These next 20 minutes, San Antonio is not going to let up. They're going to keep going for a goal. Reno's got to be able to withstand this. Just stay compact, play together, play with that chemistry we were talking about, and be able to close down space.
San Antonio quickly getting it back into play. Lopez will send it wide. Back to Lopez inside the box. Takedown inside the box. All clear for Reno there, and a corner kick now for Gordon.
Look like Partita on that tackle. It's a tough spot to go in, studs first, but when you get the ball, it works out in your favor. A little bit of a risky play, but well executed by Kevin Partita. And another corner kick from Gordon, who has a goal off of a corner kick, which still seems amazing.
Radevic able to head it out of the box. Pekka. Guadarrama's beat as Partita is able to clear it.
Now, if you're Reno, you want to step up. You want to push the line up a little bit. Make San Antonio make a good pass to beat you.
King centers too far. Gordon's there, though. Gordon makes a move, puts his right foot into it, and off the side of the net. Deflected by Reno, though, and Gordon once again will head over the corner.
It's a solid play there from Omar Gordon, being in the right place at the right time, far post. Knew that ball was going to be long. Chested it down, deked the defender, picked his eyes up, and sent a shot on goal. Those are the types of plays that are dangerous, but that's a good spot to be in for Marcinkowski.
Richards heads it out of the way. Mafeka putting a little pressure there, but San Antonio keeping possession. Pekka looking for Gordon. And Gordon trying to get it off of Kleiberg, and it looks like he was able to do it. A stressful second half for Joel Kleiberg trying to guard Gordon. And you mentioned it, had that wild goal from this spot of the fields back in the 47th minute as he was able to score on that near post. An unimaginable goal, really, as he was somehow able to find that corner pocket. Reno looking to substitute here shortly with Guy Abend. But first, Gordon's corner. Not that time, as Marcinkowski now will give it a chance now to take his time, allow the substitution, and hopefully break up the rhythm of San Antonio as they were able to hold possession there for several minutes with a couple opportunities. So Luis Felipe will come out, and Guy Abend, the 27-year-old from Israel, will appear in his seventh 1868 game. Came over in the offseason after winning the USL Championship a season ago with Louisville. He was a huge part of their run to the Cup.
I believe San Antonio also made a substitution just before that corner kick. I believe it's Sonny Guadarrama making way for Cesar Elizondo.
Elizondo, a 29-year-old from Costa Rica. Big goal scorer for San Antonio last year. Found the back of the net 6 times, which was tied for second on the club. Marie off the top crossbar. Trying to sneak one in there past Restrepo, and he almost did it. Here comes Gordon on the counterattack. Look at that speed as Kleiberg's trying to race up and catch up with him. Good job by Joel Kleiberg. Stolen back away, though, by San Antonio. They'll let that one go as a bend steps up and grabs it. Play continues. And not anymore as Jerry Von Ivik is taken down from behind. Looked like it was Lopez who knocked him down.
If you're going to make a career highlight video, I think that's going to be number one on the playlist for Joel Quaiberg. The pace he showed, getting in front of Gordon and then slowing him up. Gordon making the second move. Quaiberg stepping into his body, protecting, shielding the ball. Excellent defensive play. It's exactly what you want out of your defender, and it happened a little bit off camera, but he took a breath, hunched over, stretched out a little bit, which you're more than welcome to do that when you play that type of defense. Textbook defending from Joel Quaiberg on Omar Gordon. Looks like we're going to get another yellow card here for Pekka. Late challenge. And another good turn.
Hard tackle there on Brian Brown. Brown slow to get up as he's now helped up by his teammates. Well, and I think you can clearly see what San Antonio's adjustment was at halftime. It was to involve Omar Gordon and make him really challenge the Reno defense. In particular, they've tried to go over the top with him a bunch of different times. And although it hasn't necessarily worked, the goal from Gordon came from a corner kick. They have certainly given themselves some quality chances with that mindset. And certainly they have challenged Reno much more than they did in the first half with the adjustment of sending Gordon in such a strong capacity.
Yeah, I think it was more just a mindset. They were looking to get forward. In that first half, they were very much content sitting back, letting Reno hold the ball. I believe Reno had something like 62% possession, and in the first half, a lot of that was in San Antonio's own end. I think they were okay with that. But once the second half came, they flipped a switch. They looked for Gordon more. They looked for Alex Bruce in the box, and everything just started to click a little bit. Now, granted, they haven't scored from the run of play. Their goal comes from the craziest corner kick you'll see all year. But in these next 15 or so minutes, the fact that you've tested Reno's defense that much, it's going to put them on their back heels. So while it hasn't worked in open play yet, they've started planting the seeds for their attacking runs so that Gordon can get forward. Alex Bruce can get into the box. Cesar Elizondo, the newly substituted guy, he can find space in the box. So those runs early on in the second half, while they didn't work in producing a goal, they've produced attacking momentum.
Quaiberg, you saw him getting stretched out there by Reno trainer Steve Patera, maybe dealing with some cramping, and he really has been forced to run a ton trying to guard Omar Gordon. Reno will go to a substitution and bring in Duke Lacroix. Started on Wednesday in that Open Cup match. He was signed by Reno in mid-April. Playing in Orange County a season ago. San Antonio coming with a hard run here again. Here's Gordon. Gordon couldn't do much with that one, and he would have really liked to have that one back because he had one teed up right in front of Marcinkowski. He made that way too easy.
I'm going to nitpick here a little bit on Marcinkowski. He went to one knee and had a little bit of an opening behind his hands. You'd like two knees. You'd like him to go down, grab it, and put your chest right on that ball. He had a little bit of a fumble with it. You don't want to give up a rebound in that chance. You definitely don't want to let that ball slide through. Granted, that's total nitpicking. You'd like to see Gordon do a little bit better with that shot, too. I don't think he picked his eyes up. I think when that ball was coming, he just kind of struck it. He might have even had time for a touch towards goal. I like that he took it first time, but you'd like to see him put that far post. But strong play from San Antonio. That's the type of attacking run that, we were talking about Gordon making those runs early. Reno was on the back foot. They were backpedaling that entire way. No one was stepping towards the ball, which that seed was planted earlier on in the second half with San Antonio making those runs. It'd be interesting to see if Reno can snuff those out. There's got to be less space in between the midfield and the defenders. Right now, everything's way too spread out for Reno. They've got to get some formational integrity is what I like to call it. They've got to get back to their shape, which, that's something they were very good at last year.
Carroll sends it down the field for Brian Brown. Outmanned, he'll send it backwards. Here's a bend. Now Reno has some more bodies. Partita. Janjigian coming up from his center back spot.
And this is more to just give everyone a breather. They know the next 10 minutes is going to be tough on everyone. Just nice, calm, easy passes. Not really attacking, just kind of moving the ball around.
Reno known for being such a offensive team and an offensive mindset. Do you expect that maybe in these last 10 minutes, especially seeing the effectiveness of Gordon, to see them maybe sit back a little bit more than they typically do to try and close this out?
There's a give and take. There's a give and take. You definitely want to see them still on the front foot. You know, when you have these chances and far in San Antonio's zone, yeah, you want to get crosses in, you want to get balls in. But if it's, you know, a run of play where it's, you know, in the back line, you're not necessarily going to send everyone forward. You're not really going to look for that long looping ball. You're going to look more for possession to keep San Antonio on the back foot and not give up sloppy turnovers, which is something that can kill a scenario like this. When you have a goal up and you want to keep attacking it, if you give up a sloppy turnover, especially against a good team like San Antonio, who's going to pounce on those opportunities, it's a give and take. Yes, you want to see Reno still attack, but you know you have a one-goal lead. You want to sit back a little bit and not send everyone forward, which I think Ian Russell knows that, and I think he's preached that with his players, that playing with a lead, you know, as an attacking side, you want to keep attacking, but not at all costs.
Well, they're being very patient here, spreading the ball all over the field.
Which is exactly how you want to do it, is just be patient, make the easy pass, spread the ball around, don't try anything spectacular, and don't have sloppy turnovers that lead to one-on-one scenarios in the back line.
Here's Lindo Mafeka. Mafeka, left foot, and stopped by Restrepo. Well, that was a good chance there from Reno. Good patience, Mafeka with a good move. And now you see there's 4 or 5 blue shirts on the defensive end ready for a San Antonio counterattack.
Yeah, they're definitely looking for the equalizer. San Antonio showing a yellow card here. It looks like Lacroix just came into the match and took this knock. Ooh, studs first. Like right in a rough spot. It's Elizondo, the second half substitute, showing the yellow card. I'll say this, I would not want to be Duke Lacroix at this moment. Very tough play. But you said it, San Antonio's, they're looking for the equalizer. They're not sitting back, and that's something they like to do. Is if the roles were flipped, San Antonio was playing with the lead, that's something they're very good at, is sitting back, inviting the pressure, and just clearing balls out, where this is a little bit of unfamiliar territory for them of trying to press forward and go get that equalizing goal. It's not necessarily what San Antonio likes to do. As Mike Seth now replaces Alex Bruce up top. A little bit of an attacking threat here from Seth. Interesting to see a like-for-like substitution. You'd think maybe a forward comes on and replaces a midfielder and, you know, maybe shake it up a little bit, but looks like San Antonio is going to stay with this familiar shape.
6 minutes left in regulation. Trying to go over the top again. There's Gordon in a familiar spot. Reno able to clear.
Duke Lacroix doing really well with that tracking header. Again, if you're Reno, you want to know where Gordon is at all times, and Lacroix charged with matching up with him and staying with him step for step and sending that header away. It's exactly what you want to see out of Reno's back line.
Reno, who was so good at home last year, hoping just for their second win of the season here at Greater Nevada Field, where they have gone 1-3-1. Their only victory, a 2-0 defeat of OKC back on April the 28th.
Yeah, and if you ask me, I think that's the most surprising fact of the early start to this USL season is Reno not really taking care of home field. As you know, they're looking to do that tonight, but it really was such a fortress in last year's USL season that it was surprising to see some of the early results from Reno of not really taking care of home field.
Mentioned 1-3-1 this year. They were 9-2-5 at home a year ago. So already more losses here this season than the entirety of that 2017 season.
It's surprising. It's very interesting, and we've alluded to it, but you can't replicate last year. But especially when you lose the league MVP, the leading assist man, a top center back in Jimmy Ockford, it's incredibly tough to replicate all of what they did last year. Not only just because it's hard to do that 2 years in a row, but when you lose guys like that, it's incredibly hard to produce those results. But nonetheless, I think the home record is still just so surprising that they had such a lock on Greater Nevada Field that it was surprising to see the early results.
Reno trying to hang on here in the final minutes as San Antonio will earn a free kick. Gordon standing over the ball along with Escalante. Gordon had that goal earlier. He'll take this one, and he sends it off into the bullpen.
Wasted chance, really. I mean, you got to at least put that on frame. You've got guys in the box. Maybe Marsikowski has to block that away. Maybe gives up a rebound, but not putting that anywhere near frame. Just didn't really look comfortable standing over that ball. The way he hit it, he kind of crouched down and shot through it, which is almost like a chip shot in golf. He just didn't look comfortable with that free kick, but a very wasteful chance.
Richard sends that one out of play, and a throw-in now coming for Cochran. I would expect to see multiple minutes of stoppage added here in the second half, with a couple points of players being down, but we'll see what's added by Greg Dobka. Here's Gordon again, leading the charge. Gordon. Mafeka, the easy interception, and that was too easy. Now a shot for Brian Brown. One man to beat. Brown waiting for some help. Van Avik. That close to sealing this one as he just missed the corner.
I got to tell you, though, that was exceptional defending from Reno's back line. As you see Van Avik just miss a perfect pass by Brian Brown. Just held up play, got past one defender, slid it right into the path of Van Avik. You'd like to see him do a little bit better there. I think he took one too many touches. I think maybe you take that one time, just kind of pass that back into the net. But exceptional defending here from Reno as they cause another turnover. San Antonio being a little sloppy. An excellent defensive effort this last 5 minutes for Reno.
Brown goes through the wickets. He was trying to find a way past Pekka, and he was able to keep Brown away from Restrepo. Janjigian stepping up there, but a whistle before that.
Yeah, it looked like Paul Marie just clipped Escalante. Might have been a bit of tactics there. It looked like Marie was on his back hip, maybe making a play. This Reno defense has been stout. Again, the only goal given up is a goal you won't see very often, a goal from a straight corner kick. They have been fantastic tonight. Brent Richards, especially in these last 5 minutes with his stand-up play, and the midfield coming back into play. Partida's been fantastic defensively. Just need a few more minutes out of this Reno defense.
Marcinkowski pulls that one out of trouble as we head into the final seconds of regulation here tonight at Greater Nevada Fields.
Good confident play there from Marcinkowski. Knows exactly where that ball is going. No one really testing him. Just rises up, makes an easy catch, goes right to his chest. Everything you want to see out of a young keeper. Another good link-up play here.
Mafeka was looking for Van Ivik.
And even if those passes aren't leading to goals, those are positive passes. If you're Ian Russell, you like to see those guys linking up, playing 1-2, making runs off those balls, guys being very willing to pass the ball. That's everything you want to see out of this offensive side.
Here comes Brian Brown again. 5 minutes of stoppage time added. Brown getting tangled up there with Lopez. You see how physical of a player Brian Brown is as a forward. And he'll get whistled there as he was trying to keep possession, but can't do it.
If you see Brian Brown up close and you hear forward, you might think basketball player. I mean, he's a very strong, powerful player, quick and agile, a really good goal scorer, and a solid option for this Reno team. And especially if they can get Mo Chow going with Mo Chow and Brian Brown, with Mark Anthony Gonzalez. This team has the offensive firepower.
Bruce Chandel very upset. He wanted to get that one going. Has to hold up by Dobka, but now San Antonio will send all their numbers forward. Every white shirt in the offensive half here. Richards gets his head on it. Gordon for the corral. Abends able to get it away from Gordon. But a whistle, and San Antonio gets to keep possession, and Guy Abend is not happy with Greg Dobka right now.
Yeah, I completely disagree with the call. I think Gordon just slipped trying to make those quick movements, which is, his bread and butter tonight. But I think he just slipped on the pitch, and Guy Abend was in the right place at the right time. Tough call against him, and a dangerous free kick here.
Elizondo headed away by Carroll this time. Go out of bounds. Escalante the throw in. Halfway through the stoppage time, Reno clinging to a 2-1 lead here in downtown Reno. Partita doing a good job there.
That's great. It's exceptional defending from a midfielder, tracking back and playing that loose ball.
Richards the clearance. Stopped at midfield by Pekka. Finds a man in the box, and what a job there. Janjigian, who saved a goal earlier in this half, is able to get his head on that one to avoid an opportunity for San Antonio.
I'm not sure Mike Seth knew how open he was in the box, or else I don't know if he would have tried to head that across, maybe chest it down and take a shot. But, man, he was unmarked, and that ball was right on his head.
Gordon deflected, but right to Marcinkowski. And a sigh of relief for JT Marcinkowski there.
You could see it on his face. That deflection was a pretty gnarly one. I'm not sure he knew exactly where that was going, but for him to snatch onto that one, that's a solid sigh of relief from him. But I go back to the play from Mike Seth. I mean, San Antonio sends that long ball in. Reno's done a fantastic job defensively, but losing a guy unmarked in the box like that in this scenario is not something you want to see if you're Ian Russell. I'm sure he's going to be having words about that after the match. But this is solid for Reno. You get it deep into San Antonio's zone. You get a throw in. You can run the clock a little bit, maintain play here. Unless sloppy turnovers. It's the one thing you didn't want to see there.
Yeah, uncharacteristic there from Richards. Threw it in, stolen away right away by Escalante, and perhaps one more shot here for San Antonio. You see the clock there. 5 minutes of stoppage. This could be their last possession. Trying to go long. Janjigian sends it back to the middle of the field. Elizondo. Reno able to clear it back to midfield. They would have liked to see them keep possession there as we get into the final ticks. No whistle on the push down from behind. Marcinkowski will grab it. And Reno 1868 will get 3 points here tonight at Greater Nevada Field. And their unbeaten streak continues. It is now 8 consecutive matches without a defeat, as Reno has not been beat since all the way back on April the 14th. A hard-earned 2-1 victory for Reno 1868 on top of San Antonio in what was an exciting match here tonight. We'll come back and show you the highlights from this one. Reno, with their 4th win of the year, they now have 17 points, and they will vault in front of San Antonio and get them above the cut line here in the Western Conference. Goals tonight from Jerry Van Ivik and Mo Chow, as the boys in blue and the Battle-Born Brigade will celebrate tonight here in the 7-7-5. We'll pause and come back with our final thoughts and those highlights coming up next.